modern pop spirituality will talk about things like be present. Use phrases like be here now, which is a stimulating read from Ram Dass, by the way, a titan of questioning and brilliant, amazingly brilliant Harvard psychologist turned spiritual teacher. I love listening to his lectures. But it comes from, and that book was the very beginning of a spiritual journey, a very eclectic spiritual journey. His own guru wasn't his direct teacher, and his direct teacher, there was quite a bit of a language barrier when he came back and wrote Be Here Now. And these themes dominate contemporary approaches to mindfulness or kind of surface level spirituality of living in the now. So what does the Vedantic lens say about these threads, these really pithy and powerful sounding phrases like living in the now? Well, I will say logistically, the now is the best place to live in because that's what we got. This philosophy explicitly will say, clip the past, clip the future, and drop into right now. And this is a mastery, cultivating a mastery over the mind from constantly running to the future or past, running to the future or past, running to the future and past, and bring you right here. As a surfer riding the wave that is right there instead of thinking about the wave before or idealizing some wave in the future. We're on a wave right now, all of us. Ride it fully, with full awareness. Clip the past, clip the future. Swami will say that at the ashram all the time. Clip the past, clip the future. Drop into the present. But the caveat, philosophically, that's logistically, just so helpful, powerful. I think about clip the past, clip the future, drop into the present often. But philosophically, living in the now is not a huge theme within Vedanta because there is only right now. And saying living in the now, when it ultimately is a phrase telling us to control our minds, is like saying control your mind. John, Sarah, Sita, Priyanka, control your mind. That's not helpful. That's as helpful as me telling you, be a maestro on the piano. If you want to be really good at the piano, be a master. Or, wow, you know what's better than not being good at the piano is being a master at the piano. Anybody can say something like that, but it means nothing. Saying live in the now is like saying, or be present is like saying master your mind. It's far more helpful to give people the tips and the practices to where living in the now is inevitable. Living in the present, mastering the mind is the result of the practice, not a practice itself. It's like telling someone to meditate. The classical definition of meditation, nididhyasana, is single-pointed thought to the exclusion of all other thoughts. That is a result of practice. Classically speaking, and the sophisticated philosophical approach to meditation or living in the now, these are the results of practice, not practice. So how often will a coach tell a basketball team, how often will they say, everybody average double-digit points? Probably not that often. Most of the time is spent on work on our footwork. We're going to do all of the training to where we're really in shape. We're going to practice our free throws, all the foundations of the game. We're going to design and run and learn some plays. The result is ideally wins. The result is maybe someone averages 15, 20, 25 points a game. But you don't spend time talking about everybody average double digits in points per game. You spend time talking, thinking about, reflecting on the inputs to those outputs, the practices that will potentially provide those results. Similarly, this philosophy just doesn't throw around phrases like be here now. Even if Eckhart Tolle and Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle's book is Power Now, his most famous book, The Power of Now, brilliantly Vedantic literature. Brilliant. It's a great book. Be here now. Beautiful Vedantic literature. More on the bhakti side of things, but that's Sanskrit just for devotional side of things. But beautiful literature. As beautiful as someone covering, writing a biography about Michael Jordan and talking about his stats in the NBA Finals. There's a lot to appreciate there. But talking about the results of a practice is not going to help us improve our practice and achieve those results. Me seeing the stat line of Michael Jordan in Game 6 of the Finals where they win it all, it's not going to help me become a better basketball player. Being present, being in the now, mastering the mind is the result of practice. It is the result of this philosophical practice. But it would be, like I said, as silly as saying, master your mind. John, control your mind. Instead of a recognition of just how difficult that is. And how silly it is to say, jump to the absolute mastery of a craft. Instead, a great teacher, a great guide, sees where the student is, meets them where they are, takes them from the known into that unknown territory. But sees where they are, sees their level, and takes them there gradually. Similarly, this philosophy says very few, one or two in a generation, can just be present, fully present, exist, steadfast in the now, can control the mind. Some of us might have a bit more control than others, a bit more progress, but true mastery of the mind, 1 to 2 people in a generation. So, logistically, yes, it is helpful to think about these articulations of clip the path. So, logistically, it is helpful to think about things like clip the past, clip the future, drop into the present. It is helpful to know that the results of our practice might get you double-digit points per game. And this philosophical practice, the results of the practice, it is self-mastery. It is mastery of our thoughts over time and maybe over lifetimes. But that is the result of this practice. But very little time is spent talking about the results, and much more time is spent talking about the practice, meeting students, meeting people where we actually are. Inspired perhaps by where we might end up, but not using pithy phrases like live in the present, and instead to articulate something useful like study and reflect daily. Question everything. Don't take anything for granted. Those, by the way, are the 3 daily practices of Vedanta. First is question everything. Question all of the things that you've just accepted as this is the world, this is me, this is my worldview, this is the worldview of my family, so I'm just going to adopt this worldview. This is the worldview of the commercials and TV shows and movies and music that I listen to, so I'm going to adopt those worldviews. Get some elbow room, question everything. It sounds exhausting, but it's like cleaning the windshield before you get on the highway. It is a bit of effort, but my God, is that better than a muddy windshield that might take you into a ditch, take you out and people around you out with you? That extra effort of questioning provides the beginnings, the seeds of clarity. Then the second daily practice is don't take anything for granted. Good or bad, you think it's something that's bad, perhaps just entertain the idea that maybe it's actually a blessing. Don't take anything for granted. Trial, tribulation, triumph, whatever it is. Don't take it for granted. There's some syllabus, some beautiful nutrition in there to be gobbled up and used for what comes next. And then study and reflect daily. I say this so often, and it's because so many people will love these messages here and there, but then not apply them in a daily practice. And the virus of attachment has no cure. You can only inoculate it daily with 10, 15, 30 minutes, whatever you can afford of early morning reflection right when you get up before the rest of the day just pulls you out of yourself. There are 3 practices, classical practices of this philosophy of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, that's listening, reflection, and then meditation, deep contemplation, and meditative practices that would then lead up to single point of focus, to the single pointed thought, to the exclusion of all other thoughts. Those are the classical practices that are perennial practices each week, month, year. But the daily practices, almost localize the practices to what you can incorporate into our daily patterns. Let's question everything. Don't take anything for granted. Study and reflect. And what happens on the other side of that as a friend, a parent, a coworker, family member, a son, a daughter, a neighbor, is you end up being the most present one around, the least agitated by the past or the future. Gathering up, planting yourself and your identification more and more into right now than anyone else around you. Not as a practice, but as a result of practice. And that's today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.